From the nation's capital, good evening, a pleasant welcome to news today. I'm Zach Totiama Sherman in the headlines. Liberia National Fire Service confirms 26 students and 1 teacher dead in the fire incident in Red Light community. Emergency Response Unit begins 11 years anniversary celebration with a clean up campaign. Those plus more for this evening. Keep watching. Welcome back and thanks for rejoining us. This is news today. The Emergency Response Unit of Liberia National Police over the weekend took the streets with a clean-up campaign as part of its 11th anniversary celebration. The campaign, according to Deputy Commander for Policing, Francis William, was meant to carry on awareness on the value of their 11 years of existence in the police force. The Deputy Commander at the same time cautioned Liberians to embrace cleanliness for a safe environment.
We want to be involved with the community, and we're trying to build unity and togetherness, and we're trying to introduce peace. And one of the key ways you can do that is to start by taking up your own initiative to help the community understand the importance of cleanliness and how is it connected to security. So it all comes with safety and care and protection. So once your community is clean, you are sure that you'll be safe. Yes, it's a set program that we have, even though it's not in our SOP, but it is a program that ever since the unit was established, it is an initiative we take every year, October. Our anniversary falls on October 3rd because it is the time the first class of ERU graduated, and we take that time of the year to celebrate, to remember the past, the training, the exercise. As you saw, the officers were, they had the lane push-up and they were going up, coming down. All that show the togetherness and try to build the spirit of unity within the group. This initiative is going out to every police officers out there to take the same initiative in every section, the traffic, the public safety, everywhere, and also to the community to take the initiative because this is our country and only us can keep it clean. And cleanliness is next to godliness, so we have to make sure our environment is clean.
A week-long roadmap to peace and reconciliation will focus on reflection, realignment, and constant dialogue has ended in Monrovia with a call to national healing, peace building, and reconciliation. The weekend meeting, which brought together students, civil society, and government organizations, organized by the Liberia Peace Building Office, highlighted the proper agenda for prosperity and development in the context of peace and reconciliation. Speaking to reporters, Liberia Peace Building Office Executive Director Edward Modba said the move will enhance implementation to the process as government is expected to act on the resolution generated from the dialogue.
The intent is actually to have met and discuss aligning the different frameworks for the PAPD. And one of the major frameworks is the strategic roadmap for national peace building, healing, and reconciliation. So we have met to, in a technical way, to operationalize the PAPD. So what we did is we look at the 12 thematic areas of the strategic roadmap for national healing, peace building, and reconciliation. And then we took the elements that has implication for reconciliation for the national economic dialogue. We look at the PAPD itself, with the 3 subsector on reconciliation, look at some of the elements and key activities. Then we converge those into the roadmap so that we can, and then cost them for 3 years with the intent that cost can be consolidated and use that as a resource mobilization tool to address areas identified by the PAPD, but yet are reflected on thematic areas of the roadmap. Okay. And reconciliation is based on 4 principles, cardinal principles. So reconciliation first begins with the principle of peace. So we do have relative peace, though our peace is fragile, But yes, we have it. So that's one principle. The second principle is truth telling, and the third principle is forgiveness of mercy, and the fourth is justice. So if you put those four principles together, you can have genuine reconciliation. And it inspires over time. It's not a short-term thing. It's a long-term thing. There are other countries, like South Africa is still going through the process of reconciliation. You got Japan, still going through a process of reconciliation. So it's a long-term process. It's not a 2-3 years event. So despite the fact that we're going to have 14 years of war, 15 years of having finished the war, we think that we have not just done the actual processes for ensuring that reconciliation can now begin to take roots.
Meanwhile, participants have been explaining more to KMTV News about their own impressions.
From this workshop, we're here today to look at thematic areas that lead us to the different interventions of peace. As you may be aware, our country comes from a post-conflict era. We have a fragile state, and we are doing everything possible with the various activities over the years in our national agenda to ensure that we lead our country to prosperity. We talked about our post-conflict era. We talked about memorialization of those who died. We talked about peace and reconciliation that borders on the justice sector. We talked about education. We talked about infrastructure development of our people. We talked about the economy. Those things that we all come together as indicators for growth. I see that they will be very receptive because this borders on the PAPD agenda for transformation, POPO agenda, which has the furtherance of that of the AFT. Mm-hmm. And in order for us to carry on and impact those indicators or those areas within the agenda for change, we see that the government will embrace this wholeheartedly. They will embrace it in a positive way, because all of those things that we've earmarked, we have realigned, we have altered in some way, we have tried to cost is in the best interest of our country.
We've been in the beginning of developing the roadmap. We have revised it, and we now try to cost it, because it's something that we have to do for our country. And they're sitting down with civil society partners and all of those who raise the occasion. We are very grateful. There are many issues that have been raised in the document, and especially we focus on national reconciliation, diaspora reconciliation, and contribution to the national dialogue in terms of reconciliation. So what we've been doing is that a document, a framework was developed. So what we're doing today was to review what we have done in terms of revised, and then put cost, which means we're costing every activity within the time frame of 3 years. Mm-hmm. And if we can mobilize the resources with national and international support, we'll take.
The Liberian National Fire Service has confirmed the death of 26 students and one teacher during the huge fire outbreak in Bazzotown Red Light community. According to investigation by the National Fire Service, the burnt structure was built since 1999 with substandard materials and capacity at 46 persons. Addressing the news conference Monday, LNFS Commander-in-Chief Alex Dixon said the investigation established that the structure had one-way exit and entry where the fire first got it.
The structure we are talking about was built in 1999. In 1999, this school was built, and what kind of materials were used on the school? From our investigation, we found out that there are a lot of substandard materials that were used in building that structure. The total capacity of this structure was about 46 persons living in this building. 46 persons. The imam, family, total students, including the instructor, was 35. On the night of the fire outbreak, out of the 35 residing on the campus, 31 was present that night. 31 was present that night. And out of the 31, from our investigation, we observed that 4 survived, including the Imam family of 11. totaling the number to 15 survivors. Upon receiving a call from the investigative team, they proceeded on the scene and started their investigation on the 16th. And going through their investigation, they discovered that the fire started in the front of the house. So we discovered that the fire started in the first room, in the roof of the house. And another thing we discovered during our investigation, we found out there was a motorbike in the corridor that had gasoline in it. After the student noticed that there was a fire in the roof of the house, they all escaped to the back of the house where there is no exit. This house had one entrance and no exit. They all went at the back to their teacher, and then they were there to the teacher, not understanding that the smoke takes 10 minutes to take the life of somebody. And also it takes 10 minutes for a fire to regenerate. So in 50 minutes, we received that call. We believe that after the crew got on the scene, the entire building was already engulfed with fire.
Meanwhile, the Liberia National Fire Service Commander-in-Chief disclosed that the root cause of the fire incident was due to electrical short powered by a 30 kV generator. According to him, the report, upon published, was sent to USA and Ghana for review and has been given to Liberia Attorney General for further action.
The 4 students that survived, when they discovered the smoke in the first room with the fire on it, 2 left from the entrance, and the 2 that went at the back to see their teacher made it through the fire. They ran through the fire, and you can see the boy at JFK. You will see the burn all over his skin. He went through the fire along with his friend. This is how they got severe burn. Because of their bravery, they had to save their lives. This investigation was both sent to the United States and also to Ghana for review before coming up with the finding. After a week-long investigation, we discovered that the cause of the fire is electrical shock. This building had current the night of the fire, and the supplier of current to the building is Mr. Frederick K. Brown. And the generator used is a 30 kVA Perkins generator. Ladies and gentlemen, today we come with the final report that has been submitted to the Attorney General of the Republic of Liberia, the Justice Minister, and also copy to the acting president. We got nothing much to say to the public but to let you know that we are in deep sympathy with the bereaved family. And we say to the children, to the family, may the souls of the children rest in peace.
And the Liberian Crusaders for Peace Executive Director has departed the country to be awarded as an astute cultural and peace promoter in Liberia and Africa. The program, organized by Liberian journalists in the Americas, AGI, along with other institutions, is an annual event that spotlights Africans' work on the continent and their impacts. Speaking to reporters prior to her departure, Ambassador Judy cautioned Liberians to uphold the value of culture and peace in order to foster national development.
To talk about what is happening in our country, to share the greatness of Liberian culture to the world. And that platform is also an opportunity to share how culture has been used as the medium of communication in all sectors of our lives, whether it's women empowerment, health, education, peace building, democracy, the rule of law, and all of that. And I'll do my best to represent this great nation, this land of the brave and free, this land that we enjoy
this land where we were born, and this land that we must cherish and love, that Liberia will rise. I received an invitation from the president and members of the Association of Liberian Journalists in Americas, and they said over the years they have followed me and the work that I've done, so they have asked that I come and speak on culture, how culture has been used as the medium of communication to promote peace. And my presentation will be in 3/4. My presentation will start with a text, with a documentary evidence, because sometimes we just talk. So people will see actuality and see the level of work that we've done in Liberia. And I'm going to touch every aspect of our culture. I'm going to talk about political culture, the culture of impunity, the culture of peace, the culture, our value, our food, our clothes, dance, music, the respect and dignity of our leaders, how we must respect our leaders and respect the value of our culture, and the responsibility that it brings to us as Liberian. And once you are Liberian, you know that this is all that we have. And then talk about peace. And in order for us to continue to talk about peace, we must also talk about justice. So all this you will see into my presentation.
With the departure of Liberia's cultural ambassador, Judy Andy, that brings us to the close of this presentation of news today. But before we go home, here once again the headline. Liberia National Fire Service confirms 26 students and 1 teacher dead in the fire incident in Red Light community. Emergency Response Unit ERU of the Liberia National Police begins 11 years anniversary celebration with a clean-up campaign. I want to say thanks for your viewing pleasure. My name is Zach Totia Mashiman. Thanks for being there.